A lawyer we worked with used to give away her time for free. Every consultation, no charge. Phone open to anyone who called, and most of those calls went nowhere. I mean, the truth is, people wanted free legal advice, not a lawyer, and she couldn't always tell the difference until about 20 minutes in. That's a lot of billable hours wasted. She switched to a 1-hour consultation at $300, and her client list didn't get smaller. It actually got better. The people who showed up were ready to hire someone because they already decided that the conversation was worth paying for before they ever picked up the phone. And that's really important to understand. A phone open to everyone attracts everyone, including the people who were never going to hire you. That's the real lesson here that I want you to learn. It's not that paid automatically beats free consultations, because here's the actual argument for charging. It filters out people who are shopping, not hiring. It turns your intake process from scheduling into qualifying, and it compensates you for your real expertise instead of treating your time like it's free to begin with. I can tell you that clients who pay tend to show up because they've got something invested before the call even starts. And a fee changes how a client perceives you before you say a word. So a higher price still reads as higher quality to a lot of people, fair or not. Now, here's the real argument for staying free, the flip side. It widens the door. More people call when there's no cost to finding out if you can actually help them. And in some practice areas, that volume is the whole business model. And I get it. Nearly like 60% of personal injury attorneys, I think, still offer free consultations. And that comes from a Martindale Avo study. Because in that world, PI, free is exactly what clients expect. And breaking from that expectation costs you calls that you'd probably otherwise get for nothing. So free also builds trust before somebody's ready to spend anything. And I guess if you're newer or your practice area is one where people are scared and broke at the same time, like criminal defense, a lot of family law, asking for money on the first call can cost you the exact client who needed you most. So, which one is right? That's the wrong question. The actual question is whether you're qualifying who gets your time at all, paid or not, right? A paid consultation qualifies people by default because money is a natural filter. A free consultation only qualifies people if you've built something into it that does the same job. Real intake questions before the call, that does it. A clear sense of what you handle and what you don't, and someone on your team actually screening before it ever reaches you. If you skip that step, then what looks like generosity is really just an absence of discipline at your own law firm. You end up giving away hours to people who were never going to become clients, and you're calling it a good customer service thing. So before you decide free or paid consultations, decide this instead. If you can't tell me right now how many of your free consultations last month turned into actual retained clients, you don't have a free consultation strategy. You have an open door and a guess. So look at your own practice area first. Again, like if you're in personal injury or another practice area where free is the standard, going paid is probably going to cost you calls because that's what the model depends on. But if you're in business law, estate planning, anywhere clients already expect to pay for expertise, a real fee can raise the whole tone of the relationship before it even starts. And whichever way you land, I think you make sure you check your state bar's rules on consultation fees before you change anything, because some jurisdictions, as you know, have specific requirements, and they can be sometimes easy to miss. So make sure you get that taken care of. But I'll tell you, the lawyer who switched to the paid model, again, just didn't end up with a smaller practice. She actually ended up with a filter. And whether that filter is a price tag or a real conversation before the call, the point is the same. You need to decide who gets your time before they're already sitting across from you.